Good morning, you guys. How you doing? Can you see it? I got a painting going on behind me. Chickens walking up and down the stairs. Yes, and I got myself a brand new haircut. And it just has to grow into being. All right? Well, listen, you guys. Listen. I just want to tell you about I want to just reflect on what's going on out there in the real world. Okay? It's not like I ain't a part of it. I'm a part of it. Can you see me? Can you go? That? Well, I don't have to tell a bunch of people what everybody else is already figuring out is this this idea that that world out there that belongs to the devil, by the way, it belongs to this lower mind, and this entity is a negative situation. And why people think that God has anything to do with going on down here. God, the G-O-D, the two. No, it's only got one half of God working down here, and that's the devil. All right. So listen, I didn't vote for any of these guys, Hillary or even Donald Trump. I just didn't want to. In fact, as a part of being separated from this world of ours is to just not participate, But, so we can't help but still being alive and working inside of it. But I would say that more than, maybe like 14 years ago that I could count back was when I stopped watching the television, okay? I haven't lost a whole mess of things since then. I just watch whatever I want on this computer, and I do a lot of binge watching or listening to things as I go. But what I was noticing back then, okay, this was some time ago. This was back when, let's say, it was during the time of 9/11 or something like that. However long ago that was, it was only about 6 months later that I just gave it up altogether. Okay, just no more television. I was noticing back then that all of those reporters that I was used to watching and had some kind of belief or some kind of comfort in listening to were all being changed. Everything was they were going away, and then we were getting shitty things in place of them. And so, later on we would find out that the government had infiltrated these free places and, whether or not it's true, started barking their information. And this is where you get this idea of Bush saying things like, if we didn't have the help of the media, we wouldn't have gotten this far. Thank you for your help. So what you're going to find out here is that the media has been taken over by a piece of the government that does all of this business with you, that makes you feel like, that you have to take all of these drugs, that you have to follow the pharmaceutical world, that you also are going to have to deal with this idea of being vaccinated, and whether or not your kid gets sick or not, you don't have any control over that. You can't bitch at them. There's no window to go to and complain. You'll see that this system was made to screw the public, make us follow a particular way or thought, no matter what. And now we have Don Lemon and stuff like that up there calling out other parts of his group as making him into a racist and other people as idiots. And, you can just see that this whole idea, whether or not Trump is a good thing or a bad thing, what you're getting out of this is you're getting a really good idea of those people that have the mind of things. I don't see any trouble with this character. I'm finding him quite humorous, and that he is upsetting the world, and he's upsetting a particular part of the world. And it's as if, if this dark thing, which is, has infiltrated certain things, it's like we've cut him off. Everything he has is gone except for his mouth. and his mouth it just happens to be anything that has to do with the television. Oh, maybe not everybody, because we do know some people are getting out of the quicksand and out of that hell and stuff like that, have their own minds. But this hive mind situation where rich people are trying to tell us how to think and what to do and who to vote for, these people got nothing to do with what happens to people on the lower end. They don't give a fuck, And it's just odd to hear them back, how they want us to follow them, And it's weird, I'm queer. I don't follow that group. I don't have this idea. I never cared to be married. I never cared to have the same rights as straight people or anything like that. And there's a gay agenda out there, and if I'm not following it, then not even my own friends will be my friends. This is the kind of weirdness that's going on. The world is not getting any better. It's just another way of keeping shit stirred up and flopping around. But I'm going to tell you this for sure, is you have to cut about, you got to get away from all of that stuff. You're not allowed, once you've made it over to this thing, to follow mankind. It's not allowed. I would just think that it should make you sick, to participate in such things. But you'll find that, you can't jump in, you get out of shit and then go and jump right back into it. It's the same way with the religion. When you have made it over to this other side, you don't go in to preach religion. Then you're part of the lie again, and you can't produce that kind of thinking or help, or you stop serving the beast, and the beast is this outside world. It's always been that you have to renounce this outside world. And what Buddha and all of those would have considered doing back then is just, get away from it all. Renounce it all and go on your own in your rags or whatever, your thong, go and raise money with your money or with your hands, or something like that. I'm not sure. But the idea is you have to renounce that other side of the business. And, they're running around. There's something odd going on because they actually run around making sure you're voting, no matter what side you're on. So you'll see that what you do is when you sign the dotted line, when you sign that, you might as well say that I just signed my life and my conscience over to this other side. It's no different, because now whatever the United States does, it has your approval. That's how it is. That's how they spread it all around, so that whenever something really awful happens, like remember under with Bush and with Obama, that this dark entity, this dark force was attacking the people. This is those red flag business or false flags that they turned themselves on us so that we would start fighting each other. And where's it at? It's still there. What happens? What happens in these black regions is they get they pay people off to come over and fight, cause a bunch of trouble, and then destroy this little neighborhood. It's the only way of making any money. And so they're helping us to destroy ourselves. And what's so different about that? It's been going on for years and years and years. This is what we do to other countries. We go in there and destabilize them. God help, if I'm eating someplace and a mob of people comes in, look, even that, a bunch of reporters, now, come on now, that's not a mob. And they're showing people beating on the doors, stripping things, and, yelling and hollering. Come on now, that's not a mob. That's something religious going on there. The Palm Sunday march down the street. Isn't that just beautiful? No, we're being told how to talk and how to think and whatever, It's just a funny thing. Now people are being in trouble if you're a white guy and you got dreadlocks on you. Now it's a cultural appropriation. Good God, where are these people coming from? It's almost like you go a few steps forward and then you fall backwards a good long ways. No, so you're just going to what you have to do is just watch, because it's some cool shit going on. I can't believe I can't believe the mouths the things that are coming out of these people's mouths. I can't believe it. Don Lemon and all his group, they should be fired. In fact, it'd be nice if there was some way that these one or two or three entities that own all of the news agencies in the world, if they were forced to be, even, back to that idea that, the mouthpiece of them. I don't want to hear what John Lemon thinks about. I don't want to know what he eats for breakfast. I just want to hear the news in an unbiased way, in some way. If that ever happened in any way, that's what it's supposed to be. Otherwise, I'm not there. All these guys, all these pundits, all these new people, they've all been, there's no old guys in there at all. Those old guys look at you and say, look, you guys are idiots. You are idiots. But, when you get those people on board and they tell you, hey, CNN, you wouldn't get anywhere without Donald Trump. Your ratings would be nothing. They would go to the shitter if you didn't have him. And all your conversations is about him. Well, all conversations are about him. My radio, I can't even listen to a radio at work without hearing some potshot going out there that we have to overthrow our president. This is the information that's going out over the waves. We need some people to overthrow this government. What kind of third world country are they looking us to be? Huh? What is that? That is some crazy shit. And it's coming from our own people. So there's some treachery and traitory. This is terrible stuff. And we're like, oh, it's just another walk in the park. You guys, let's just sit back and watch these people. Don't participate in this. More than anything, you're supposed to, we'll be here after that, the cleanup. That's what we'll be here, because when it's all said and done, that's when, I guess that's when the light shows. Remember, because in the Bible it says, there's a great earthquake, but God wasn't in the earthquake. And there was a great fire. God wasn't in the fire neither. No. What happens is that quiet and that peaceful time afterwards, when that little piece of grass pokes up in the middle of this desert or this trouble, something beautiful comes back alive. There's God, all right? God doesn't destroy things. God is not something that you will be confused once you connect with him. You'll see all these troubles and everything that are plaguing mankind are his own doing. The more that we continue to trespass against God, and believe me now, he did it to us on purpose. He sent us down here with our own will to wake up one day. And unbeknownst to him, or maybe unbeknownst to him, because it's been thousands and billions and millions of years, one civilization after another civilization has done the same thing and taken the wrong way out. And that is to some weird catastrophe, some terrible self-annihilation. These are things that are real. And these are things that are, when you hear them saying that Trump is a narcissist, or that he's one of these Nazis or something like that, they're the Nazi. They're the ones telling us what to think and how to think and what to do. They're the ones, oh, he can't do this. Well, let me tell you, things are changing, and it's just very weird. It's better that you just watch. You open mind, whatever mind you want to have. Mine is that it's all tainted. I still don't believe, this idea of Trump pissing off all these guys. They wanted to open us up to a more worldly situation. So, a corporate president instead of a political president, is allowed to implement all these changes, and they can sit around and complain and bitch about it all they want. But it'd be a lie. The whole thing's always a lie, you guys. So don't get caught up in it, but sit back and watch. Make sure you have plenty popcorn, because it's not over yet. Not over by a landslide. We're going to be amazed, more amazed, and more amazed every day that we live through this hell of ours. Those with the eyes that can see. all right? The ears that can hear and the heart of understanding. Sit back, relax. Don't fear these people, you know. In fact, just be amazed and wondering how they even make it through this far. How the world ever even made it this far without some lunatic blowing it all up. But those are things to come, all right? God's already got you saved, so you pull yourself out of this shit. If you are saved, you'll be fine. You'll be just fine. I'll chat with you later, and I love you, all right? Turn off those TVs. We'll hear about it if it's important. We'll hear about it. I'll chat with you soon.